Welcome to Brett Davis Unleashed on IQ Podcast at Attorney King's Studios in beautiful Coronado. And I've got my mentor who's going to be the teacher legend, Hall of Fame inductee, our first one. You're number one. Bill Virchis.
Are you kidding me?
You're the very first.
Oh man, this is such an honor. This is such an honor. You know, Brett, I don't know how you do it. You must have a brain of a futuristic or like a Nostradamus. Okay, no, I don't believe that. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. My father instilled me that when you're the first, you had to take a lot of responsibility, right? Because we used to stay in line. I don't know if you remember this at the Boys Club to be number one card, right? So we were number one card. I have my first dollar that I gave my mom, my very first dollar in the paper route, right? There are so many firsts, and this is just tops it all of all my life. I can't believe you did this.
Well, we sat around with our staff. We have a staff of 5. We have a small group. We've been blessed. A lot of people are really hurting right now, and we're trying to help as many people as we can from our tiny little studio. But we came up with your name because you've always been so giving to so many people. Is my voice okay or am I cracking?
Oh, it's perfect.
So we thought of you, and then it made sense. A lot of people don't know you, but we kind of went over some names and went over your bio, and everybody unanimous. And we have a really good list of people coming, by the way, but you were the very first choice. So I think it's going to be nice. We're going to put your nice photo of you on the wall in here, and then hopefully as the studio grows, we've been very blessed. A lot of businesses right now, like I said, are hurting. A lot of people are hurting. We've actually got double the amount more work. We're working more now than I've ever worked in my life. We have more work going on than ever. So I mean, the media is an essential.
You know, Brett, you're absolutely right. I'm having anxiety zones because we have to do a play. We have a grant that the play is due July 1st, and we, theater stopped. Our 40-year dream stopped right away because of the COVID-19 protocols. So we're doing this play virtually, and it's very difficult to do theater on TV. But I'm convinced what you're doing is really good because the medium right now is, unless you do this, the voice will be shot. There will be no voice, So I congratulate you and your group because it's important.
Well, I think we also need good stories. Sometimes it's very easy to focus on the negative challenges, but I think there's a lot of good stories because you're finding the everyday hero is rising to the occasion, from the nurses to, they've always have done that, but I think people are more appreciative now because of what they're going through, this unknown pandemic.
Yeah, there's a play called The Shock of Recognition, and it speaks about the shock of recognizing even family members that you never recognized, that we take for granted, the taking for granted syndrome, right? We take our friendship for granted. We take our life for granted. We even take God for granted, my God, And so one of the things that we have to come back and be a little humble and humility is part of the process of living, I think. And one of the things that happens if we take each other for granted, we will be going right down to the flames of hell, And one of the things that happens, Brett, is that these people, like you're saying, the first responders, the doctors, the nurses, the custodians, for God's sakes. Schools now, the hierarchy has shifted. The custodians are now the most valuable people because they have to keep it clean. They have to, and they're in all the time, We just got to stop. And I think I thank you because you're always, like it says in the back of your neck there, unleashed. And you have to unleash the gratefulness of us. We're just ungrateful sometimes. And it's so, the shock of recognition, isn't it? Isn't it aware that a little bug, a little tiny little thing you can't even see stops the world? It's not an atom bomb. It's not a nuclear war. It's this little thing that gets into our bodies and destroys our humanity.
It also brings humanity together. also. It's almost like we're going through World War II in a different way.
Yes, this is a world war. This is a world war. And we're all in this together. I hate to use that cliche because I don't care. This virus is not prejudicial at all. It'll tax
Yeah.
anybody, rich, famous, black, blue, orange. It doesn't matter. So this is where humanity has to hold hands together today. It just has to hold hands together from the cradle to the grave, whoever you are. We just got to support each other, you know. And there are people hurting right now. There are people that are losing their jobs, they're losing their homes, they don't have food to eat, right? I mean, just look at the lines of free food that schools are giving. They're big lines.
So if you know of anybody out there, Bill, and I know you know a lot of people, and you may spread the word, if you know of any families that are hurting to pay their bills, we're looking for families to adopt with Attorney King, and we'll be giving them food cards, helping them pay their bills. That's something that we just found out about 10 minutes ago before we talked. So we want to raise our hand out there and raise people up that are maybe hurting. I don't know how many people we can help, but financially we're going to reach out and help people.
No, I think that's a great deal. The land of abundance. This is the horn of plenty, right? America is the horn of plenty. We waste a lot of food, a lot of, gallons of milk are being, tossed into the ocean, right? As we speak, you know how it is. We're a wasteful land due to many things. But now what we have to do is kind of rethink our giving, both time, treasure, and talent, right? What can you get? Time, treasure, and talent. Right now, treasure is the abundance of food and support. I'm blessed that I'm retired and I got a little paycheck coming in, right? I'd be going nuts because I hate unemployment line. I never collected unemployment. It's like, how do you deal with the bureaucracy? The bureaucracy of collecting unemployment, standing in lines, the DMV. I mean, just you throw this chaos, anxiety, and stress, and now other things will happen. And anything we can do to help. Clothes, food. I appreciate that, Brett, that you have unleashed your heart to them. And there's a lot of people. And the weird thing is, who are the benefactors? How do we get this out? And I think it's important.
So help me get that word out, okay? Help me get the word out about to help the people that, as just we'll put it out there somewhere along the way to get the word out that if anybody's hurting, please send them our way so we can see if we can help them pay some bills and get some food, at least feel better about what's going on, no matter, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I will. I usually what happens, and I just want to find out from you, what is the criteria of people asking for your help? Is there a criteria?
Well, the criteria is if you're in need, please let us know. We want to try to help you.
Okay, that'd be great.
There's no criteria.
Right. It's their story.
Right. And here's the thing: we don't even want their story.
That's good.
It's not about videotaping or filming. This is not about that. This is about doing the right thing.
No, that's great. That's great.
Because nobody wants to be videotaped and want all this hardship. It's very hard enough.
No. Yeah, exactly. No, it's kind of embarrassing sometimes.
Sure.
I mean, I have.
Well, we all go through situations where we need help. All of us.
Every one of us. What is the old saying? For the grace of God go I, right?
Right. I appreciate everything you do. I'm going to read your medal right behind me.
Wow, that's impressive. Wow, now I'm in your ilk. Remember oh wow, that's beautiful.
Okay. It says Teacher of the Month for March 2020. Legends Award goes to William Virchis. Mr. Everything, Chula Vista High School, Southwestern College, on and on and on and on. There's nobody like you. Thank you so much, Bill, for everything that you've done. And we'll make sure you get this and some other goodies that are going to be sanitized before we get them to you.
It's yeah, let me tell you that you and your family, it was wonderful when you first came out, when this thing hit and you're out there exercising and showing people, that you're trying to help their physical and mental health, that you've always done since you were a little kid, and that was a real joy to me to see you championing others. And people who value others are the greatest treasure on this earth. And you and your family are the greatest treasure on the earth, because you have always done that. And this radio show and all the shows you've done, it has not been about you. It has been about others, and give not only their stories, but also giving value to the humanity that they bring, that they share. As a teacher and as a coach, I've always said, there's a lot of titles. One of my favorite titles is coach. You'll never live down the idea of coach and teacher, because that is the most valuable title in the world, to be a teacher and a coach and a mentor. Other titles you can get, but these are titles that you work for, and they're titles that are they're really in the pantheon of value, and I appreciate that a lot. This means a lot to me.
I appreciate everything that you continue to teach me, not just what I've learned from you, but I still learn from you. And we're not going away. We're going to keep helping any way we can with your theater. I haven't forgotten you. It's just, things have been shifted a little bit, but we'll work through it.
Well, a road that leads from point A to point B is a straight line, but the road that curves around is the road that you have to look at every, and that's what we have to do now. And it's a better ride, by the way, going through the mountains on these little roads, up and down and over and out, instead of straight across the country. So this road that we're taking, these curves and dangerous curves sometimes, right?
Right.
We're all riding the boat together. And I want to thank you a lot, because for me it's an honor, and it's humbling. It's humbling to be chosen from you, especially a former student.
Continuing student.
And continuing, yeah, we're all continuing, aren't we? What did Socrates say one time? Like, they called him a teacher. He says, "No, I'm just a student like you," right?
Right. Well, it's true. Tell Isabel thank you for everything she does too, and tell her I said goodbye. I look forward to seeing her again. And I want to thank you for being on my show.
Well, no, thank you, and Sarah, and thank you. And you got wonderful kids, by the way. I hope that you're. How are they dealing with this, Brett?
Oh, they're going crazy. They're going crazy.
Well, you should get a medal. We're going to make a medal for you. We'll all make a medal for you, and it'll be those medals that you have with your great body as a Miss Universe and Mr. World and all that stuff. Well, those medals are going to be this one giant medal for you. I appreciate that a lot, Brett. And congratulations on your show. And your sponsors should be lucky that they have a young man who really opens his corazón and his esperanza, the hope, to all the people. That's what the show is about. And they're lucky to have you, and you're lucky to have them, and we're lucky to have each other.
You are. Thank you, Bill, for being on my show. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, it's an honor, and thank you.
No, and I want to thank the sponsors, because we wouldn't have the show if it wasn't for them, right?
You know what? I'm a firm believer that I keep thinking about our theater. Without people supporting you, without you standing on the shoulders of others, there is no other. There is not you. So we all have to have a helping hand. And people who can help others are the best people in the world. So sponsors are. They really don't ask for much, because they really don't know. And when you shout out their name because they have done something good. And all of us have agendas. All of us have these little pathways that we give to. But the idea is to keep this flowing, and I think what you do in your sponsors are one of those things that happens. We should all sponsor, right? We should all be parents of foster kids. We should all be these things, right? You do it virtually, by the way.
Well, I think we started the right business at the right time, didn't we?
It's all a matter of luck, right? I remember somebody telling Burt Reynolds, you know, when he did the movie Deliverance, you know, how did you get away from these guys that were trying to kill you and do all kinds of nasty things to you in the mountain?
The hillbillies.
Yeah. And the guy said, and he said, you know what? They own the terra firma. So we had to rethink our way. Our PhDs, our being, you know, doctors and lawyers and did not make any difference when you're not the king of the land that you stand on. So the idea that you're sitting there, you know, you are the king of the land that you stand on, no matter what, right?
I appreciate you, Bill, everything you do.
Well, I love you, and please take care of yourself and your mother especially, and your family, because that's all we are. We're all a gigantic family, you know. And anything we can do for your show, you know, we'll spread the word, and we'll also spread the word about your helping others. That's really nice.
Thank you, Bill. And thank you, Attorney King.
And you guys can always come to our theater and do your stuff there too, you know. I mean,
you
could have a program down there.
We'll work on doing some stuff with the theater because we want to help out.
Yes, and you know what? And we'll even do a bilingual thing for you. You know,
I appreciate
reach
that.
out. You know, that would be really great.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Brett. So we'll see you and stay safe, right, man?
Stay safe.
Okay. Since I don't know how to get out of here,
I'll click us out. So I'll finish it up for us.
Move me out. So
I want to thank Attorney King from his wonderful support for supporting our studio, which is named after him. Of course, Indian Motorcycle of San Diego and Broadhead, thank you. And of course, the great Chuck Ross, right? Who's having challenges right now. Cosmopolitan Restaurant and Hotel, and Chuck donates all those wonderful dinners for all the everyday heroes. And then he's just been a great support. And Bill, I appreciate you introducing me to Chuck because he's really stood up and helped support the heroes during this time. And I appreciate everything. And when he gets back open, we need to celebrate him.
Absolutely. This guy is a champion in the community, you know.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah. In fact, I was talking to Eric, who's his assistant, and just think about the busiest state park in the nation being closed, right? And he owns a third of the stuff there, right? I mean, we need to support him when he comes back, you know.
And we are going to do that.
Congratulations. Thank you.
God bless.
Okay, right. Give me. I don't know how to zoom. Okay, thank you. Bye, Brett.
Bye.
Isabella, how do I get out of here?